Welcome to Pastor's Chat today. We're looking at Psalm 39, and today we're going to talk about a question that David asked here in verse 7. And now, Lord, what do I wait for? My hope is in you. What on earth am I waiting for? Maybe another question we could ask is, what on earth am I here for? Now remember, David in this psalm is somewhat despondent. He has no doubt sinned. He's done something that's caused God's hand to be against him. You can read it down here in verse 10. Remove your plague from me. I am consumed by the blow of your hand. When with rebukes you correct man for iniquity, you make his beauty melt away like a moth. Surely every man is but vapor. Selah. So David's dealing with the consequences of a sin in his life. And he's recognizing it's God who is chastening him and punishing him. And it's a pretty difficult time. And on top of it, he has the wicked who are trying to bring him down. He has others who are gossiping and complaining and backbiting and slandering him. And so he's been silent, as he said in the first verses of this chapter. He's been paralyzed, maybe with fear, with worry, with anger. And now he's turning to the Lord. And especially as you read verses 4 through 6 that we talked about yesterday, he's looking at life itself and realizing it's but a vapor, it's short, he's frail, he can't deal with it on his own. And so now in verse 7, and now, Lord, what do I wait for? What do I wait for? What on earth am I waiting for? What on earth am I living for? He says, my hope is in you. And he recognizes he's going to turn from the temporal to the eternal. Now this is so powerful because we see at this point that David has a confident heart that if he would trust the Lord, put his hope in the Lord, God would meet the needs of his life. You see, the main concern is not how long we live, but how we live. Someone said life is measured not by how rich we are in material wealth, but whether we have values that will last. Are we living with eternal values in view? God created us to worship Him. God created us to live a life of purpose. Someone said nothing matters more than knowing God's purpose for your life, and nothing can compensate for not knowing them. Not success, wealth, fame, or pleasure. Without a purpose, life is motion without meaning. Life is activity without direction. Life is events without reason. Without a purpose, life is trivial, petty, and pointless. And my friend, the greatest tragedy is not death, but it's living a life without purpose. What is your purpose? Why are you here on planet Earth? God created you. God created you to worship Him, to glorify Him, to give value to that which is eternal, and that's God Himself. And you find that value in the person and face of Jesus Christ. Knowing Christ, knowing who He is, worshiping Him, living for Him, keeping your eyes on Him. My hope is in you, David said. David found that, oh goodness sakes, 1,000 years before Christ was born, he looked for the Messiah. His hope was in Him. We look back and know the Messiah has come, and now He sits on the right hand of the Father, and He is there for us for every moment of every day as we deal with the issues of life. When we live with a purpose in mind, we can get up in the morning. We can face the trials and difficulties of the day. We can deal with the issues of all the sin and evil and wickedness around us because our hope is in the Lord. And we have an anchor of the soul that's steadfast and sure because that anchor is Jesus Christ Himself. And He is the solid rock and He will not be moved. Oh, my friend, today, if you don't have a relationship with Christ, trust Him today. He loves you. He died for you. He rose again the third day. Invite Him into your heart. And then start living a life of purpose, a life of value. Live for eternity. And He is no fool who gives up that which he cannot keep to gain that which he cannot lose. Oh, my friend, I trust God's working in your heart to do just these things even today. Well, God bless you, and you have a wonderful, wonderful day.